Good morning. This is John from the Springs Mennonite Church. It's good to be with you today. Here we are on second day of the month of February. Second day, second month. Pretty soon it's going to be Valentine's Day. I hope you have your special person's Valentine all ready to go. Well, this morning I'd like to share with you again in the book of Proverbs. And this time from the 18th chapter, the 14th verse. Here's what it says. The human spirit can endure a sick body, but who can bear a crushed spirit? Let me read that again. The human spirit can endure a sick body, but who can bear a crushed spirit? Well, probably most of us have been sick in our lives. Maybe something small, maybe something large. I'm not one of those that gets sick very much, though occasionally I get a cold, and that's kind of, excuse me, what my voice sounds like today. As my wife would say, I'm growling. But nevertheless, sickness is something that everybody deals with. Now, true, some deal with a great deal more of sickness than others. I see some of those ads on the television for kids at St. Jude's Hospital and the kinds of things they have to experience at a young age is really beyond my understanding. None of my kids were like that. I was not like that. In fact, I think I've only known one couple whose child had leukemia, and it took a while, but it was fully cured. I don't understand those sicknesses that just come and last and last and last and last. But even for those, the word here says the human spirit can endure a sick body. That's not the problem. The problem is what it talks about next. And it says, who can bear a crushed spirit? Now, what's a crushed spirit? It might involve a sick body. There are situations where the sickness becomes so overwhelming that people move beyond sickness to a crushed spirit. A crushed spirit is something that happens when you're ready to give up. Not that you've exhausted all the possibilities necessarily, but you don't see any other way out except to give up. Suicide is an example of that. Now, I know a lot of Christians think suicide is an unforgivable sin and somebody can't get to heaven if they've done that. I don't think that. Because I think that when someone is so crushed that they think killing themselves is the only option, they're not thinking very well. And to blame that for something that keeps them out of heaven seems to me to be awfully extreme and even, I'll say it this way, un-Jesus like. But a crushed spirit comes when things seem to have no ending, no way out. People make a mess of their lives. I've known some that got into drugs, got into alcohol, and they really messed their lives up. And some of them reach a point where they say, there's no hope for me. And until they see that there might be hope, there really isn't any way out. A crushed spirit destroys everything about you. Now, tragedies come. I understand that. And they can come really horribly so. But a crushed spirit lasts and lasts and lasts. Jesus said, I've come that you might have joy. I've come that you might have life. I've come that you might understand the kingdom. Well, someone who has a crushed spirit can't do any of that. And I can just see God's hands reaching down and picking that person up and saying, and maybe just hugging them to their to closeness and saying, hey, don't give up. There's always another way. Now, if you happen to be one of those who has a crushed spirit, or you know someone who does, I'm not a therapist. I can't tell you the psychological ways to get out of that. You'll have to go to somebody else for that guidance. But I can tell you this. It takes a lot of work and it's not rewarding. But in those moments, if we can just find a way to love and communicate our love to that person over and over and over and over, then you have a chance to break their crushed spirit. You know, people with a crushed spirit are really sad. They they have no hope. They have no desire. Nothing. You can talk to them and talk to them and talk to them. You can't convince them of anything positive, but you can love them. You can sit with them, not say anything, just be there. You can be a positive force in the midst of their negativity. You can be Jesus in those moments when someone has a crushed spirit. Now, I can't tell you that I've ever tried to commit suicide because I haven't. I don't quite understand how you can get to that point in your life. But I can tell you, I've known others who did. It's nobody's fault. It's not that somehow you didn't do enough. It's just they had a crushed spirit. Maybe the worst thing in the world to have is a crushed spirit. Now, I think there are a few things you can do before you get there that make it a lot easier than waiting till you get there. And one of those things you can do is look for God, even in the midst of whatever's happening. We can always see God's hand at work if we look for it. And if indeed we can see beyond the moment of whatever is happening and see God, we won't have a crushed spirit. So I'd invite you today to think about your life. I know some people listening, they're struggling. And I wish I had a magic pill, but I don't. But I do have the love of God and offer it to you at this very moment. Well, thanks for listening. Hope you have a good day. If you have a prayer concern or a need that we can help you with, please call us. We'll do everything we can as fast as we can to help meet your need. God bless you. I'll talk to you again.